I do have questions.
So there are new questions emerging about the death of a Texas honor student and standout athlete. He was shot in the head by police on Saturday night. The Balch Springs Police Department now admits that the officer's description of what happened doesn't match the body camera footage, that the car the teen was riding in, he was a passenger in, was not coming aggressively at officers.
I can tell you that I do have questions in relation to my observation on the video and what is consistent with the policies and core values of the Balch Springs Police Department. The actions of this officer are being carefully examined by the department. This officer has been removed from all duties and placed on leave.
We have learned some new information that we just mentioned to our viewers, that police are now saying that the vehicle he was in was not headed aggressively towards officers. It was going away from. And I know this matches the account of what you and the family have been saying all along, that these young kids were attending a party, and when they heard shots fired, they were trying to get the heck out of there.
Yeah. You know what? Before the chief made the retraction of the statement, he stopped by and he spoke with the family. And the family questioned him directly. I had a chance to question him directly about why that false narrative was being pushed forward in the media. He came off as a very sincere law enforcement officer who wanted to arrive at justice. And we challenged him that if that was his sincere desire, then tell the truth. He told us that he planned to retract the statement, and I give him much respect for being brave enough to do that on a national platform.
Police shooting of Texas teen in moving car violated federal guidance. Chief says killing of Jordan Edwards also violated department's core values and changes official account, saying teens were driving away at time of shooting. When a Dallas area police officer fired shots into a moving car on Saturday night, killing 15-year-old Jordan Edwards, the officer did so in direct violation of federal guidance and widespread police department best practices. Moving targets. U.S. police have fatally shot 30 people in moving vehicles this year, despite federal guidelines advising them not to. Why have police departments pulled the trigger on drivers rather than reform? Read more. According to the officer's police chief, he did so in violation of the department's core values as well. Jordan was the latest victim of a practice the Department of Justice has routinely described as dangerous and unnecessary. A 2015 Guardian investigation found that about 4 people a month were killed in similar incidents where police fired into moving vehicles. Figures from the Guardian's counted database, which recorded how many people were killed by U.S. police in 2015 and 2016, suggests that number killed by police gunfire after officers shot into vehicles remained unchanged in 2016, at 48. Jordan Edwards, 15-year-old shot and killed in Texas. Jordan Edwards, 15-year-old shot and killed in Texas. Photograph, Mesquite Independent School District. Jordan was in the passenger seat of a car authorities initially said was being driven backwards in an aggressive manner when a Balch Springs, Texas, officer opened fire. On Monday, Police Chief Jonathan Haber changed the official account, citing body camera footage that showed the vehicle was driving away when the officer fired his rifle at Edwards. Officers were responding to reports of drunken teenagers and heard gunshots when they arrived on the scene. Lee Merritt, an attorney representing Jordan's family, said the teens in the car were not the ones police had been called about. He said Edwards and the teens he was traveling with were trying to leave a party, concerned that it might be getting violent, when police fired at their car. The officer, who has not been identified, has been placed on routine administrative leave. Typically in shootings like this, police say that the vehicle itself is being used as a deadly weapon, justifying the use of deadly force. Experts, however, say that shooting at moving vehicles is ill-advised for a number of reasons. For one, it is extremely difficult to hit a moving target, and officers waste time aiming and firing that could be spent getting out of the way. Secondly, shooting at a car is no guarantee that it will stop. In many cases, For example, the shooting of Samuel Dubose in Cincinnati in 2015, shooting someone behind the wheel of a car leads to the vehicle driving unguided until it hits something, potentially endangering bystanders. Most large police departments in the country, including those of New York, Los Angeles, Houston, and Denver, prohibit officers from shooting into cars. In fact, had the officers responding to the scene where Jordan was killed been from nearby Dallas, they probably would have been trained to respond differently. The Dallas Police Rulebook prohibits officers from firing at vehicles unless it is necessary to prevent imminent death or serious bodily injury to the officer or another person, and advises officers to get out of the way, rather than fire, whenever possible. But many smaller departments, such as Balch Springs, whose rulebook was not immediately available for review, do not have such restrictions. Below are some other notable shootings since the 2015 Guardian report where police defied federal guidance, fired into vehicles, and left someone dead. Jeremy Martys, 6, Marksville, Louisiana. November 3, 2015, officers shot and killed Jeremy Martys, a 6-year-old boy with autism, while trying to apprehend his father, Christopher Few. Immediately after Few's vehicle stopped during a chase, 2 deputy marshals got out of their patrol cars and began firing into the vehicle, hitting Martys 4 times and Few twice. The incident was captured on body cameras. The 2 deputy marshals who fired their weapons, Derek Stafford and Norris Greenhouse Jr., were both indicted on murder charges and arrested. Stafford was convicted and sentenced to 40 years in prison in March. Greenhouse's trial is scheduled to begin in June. Dalpierre Lewis, 24, Miami Gardens, Florida. May 26, 2016, Dalpierre Lewis was trying to flee a traffic stop for speeding when the arresting officer, who was on a motorbike, jumped onto the hood of Pierre Lewis's vehicle as he tried to turn around. Florida Highway Trooper Misael Diaz then shot through the windshield of the car before jumping off as Pierre Lewis drove away. A short distance away, Pierre Lewis, who was traveling with his girlfriend, struck another vehicle and finally stopped. If he felt that his life was threatened and the vehicle's going to run you over, you know, that's assault with a deadly weapon, said patrol spokesman Joe Sanchez. The case remains under investigation by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Eric Harris, 22, New Orleans, Louisiana. February 8, 2016, Eric Harris was shot by officers when he put his car in reverse at the end of a car chase with Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office deputies. The chase started in Jefferson Parish, but ended in the city of New Orleans, a neighboring jurisdiction. Harris crashed his car into a pole, and when his reverse lights came on, the deputies, who were about 20 feet behind the vehicle, said they feared for their lives and fired. New Orleans Deputy Police Chief Arlinda Westbrook said at a public forum in March 2016 that if that was our police officer, because it's so contrary to our policy, they would have been arrested on the spot, in reference to the deputies' actions. A gun was recovered from the vehicle. A regional civil rights task force headed by the FBI declared in March that no charges would be filed against the officer. Jacqueline Saliers, 32, Tacoma, Washington. January 28, 2016, police were trying to apprehend Jacqueline Saliers' boyfriend Kenneth Wright, who was wanted on felony drug and gun charges. When officers approached the vehicle, Wright, who was in the passenger seat, put his hands up, but Saliers, in the driver's seat, put the car in gear. Fearing for his life, Officer Scott Campbell fired, killing her. Wright later said Saliers was frightened by the officers screaming and panicked. Saliers was pregnant when she died. Toxicology reports showed she had a potentially lethal dose of methamphetamine in her system at the time as well. A gun was recovered from the vehicle. The Pierce County prosecutor ruled the shooting justified in May 2016. Kenneth Kennedy, Kingman, Arizona. October 29, 2016, Kenneth Kennedy attempted to flee during a traffic stop and bumped 2 police cruisers during his attempt, authorities said. Deputy Mark Giraldo fired at the windshield, killing Kennedy after he started driving at the deputy, according to police. Kingman's wife was also in the car at the time but was unharmed. Bullhead City Police are still investigating the incident.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if some, if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a, let's say, actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.